Week 2, Session B. How are we doing, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're going to be focusing on the pancake stretch. So we're going to be using a medium to heavy resistance band to help us get deeper into the stretch. I'm also going to be using a cushion, which I recommend you get if you're not a pro pancaker just yet. This really helps you get into the stretch in a nice comfortable position. So I'll show you exactly how to use that. But first, like always, we're going to be getting into our fire hydrant work with our kickbacks. So I like to set up with this Pilates style fire hydrant, which just allows a bit more range of motion and is a little bit more forgiving on my lower back as I manage lower back pain. So we're setting up with our left elbow down on the floor, both hands are driving into the floor, and my chest is still kind of pointing towards the floor, although I've opened up towards this right side. Make sure that we're centered with our knees, and then I'm going to pick that right knee up towards the ceiling with my toes flexed, and then bring it back down. So this is building a little bit extra range of motion on week 1. Although saying that, week 1 was a more strict version of this one because we were in that true tabletop position. And you can chop and change. If that one feels good to you, you can stick with that one. If, like me, this one feels a little bit kinder to your lower back, or you're just not ready for that true tabletop position, then you can stick with this one. Last rep here, and we're going to swap sides. So right elbow down, both hands driving into the floor, knees centered, and then we're going to pick that left knee up towards the ceiling, bring it back down to meet the right. From here, we still want to maintain an element of tailbone tucking and bring that belly button to the spine for a little bit of core engagement. 4 more reps this side. 1, 2, 3, and bring it down. We're now coming into our tabletop position, knees centered. I want you to tuck that tailbone again. Think about bringing the belly button to the spine for a nice reset. And then we are flexing our right toes as we kick our heel up towards the sky or the ceiling and bring it back down for our kickbacks. 8 reps again. We're looking for real glute engagement here, so a nice squeeze in the glute muscles. Those hamstrings might kick in a little bit as well though. Just 2 more reps this side. Last one. And let's swap to the left. So left knee hovers, flex those left toes, and we'll kick up to the ceiling. If you really liked using the book or the yoga block like I did in week 1, then I encourage you to do the same here. Keep pushing the ground away, final 2 reps. And last one. Fantastic. Okay, we are into our pancake stretch, which means you're going to grab your pillow and position it almost 1.5 bands length away from your anchor point. I'm going to use the Mocha again. You can use the blue, the Onyx, the power pink, whatever you feel is a good level for you for this mobility work. So then we're going to wrap the band around the anchor point. We are going to use the progress lines, which means I want you to find your strong band logo, make sure the ones are lined up together, and then just loop it round the anchor point and feed it through. And then you're just going to double check that those numbers are still lined up. So my 1s are with my 1s, 2s are with my 2s. The band can be a little bit lower than hip height here. And then you'll see that we have this reference point of 1 length of the band, and then it's going to be about another half for where we sit, because that's going to create the tension in the band that we want. So we're going to be sitting on our pillow for a little bit of elevation, which takes the stretch out of the lower back, and we're going to be really focusing on the inside of the thighs here. Now you can bring your legs nice and wide as feels comfortable for you. This is probably a good level for me. And if you really are just starting out with this pancake stretch, I also recommend bending at the knees slightly so your heels are driving into the floor, but we haven't got this full out stretch position. That's just going to be a little bit kinder in the inside of the legs. Now from here, I'm going to grab progress line 2 on my strong band on either side, and I'm just going to feel what that tension band is actually pulling me forward into this pancake position. And in fact, I can probably recenter myself a bit here. So the band is directly centered with my chest, and then I'm just allowing it to pull me in. So I'm already feeling a stretch through the backs of my hamstrings, inside of my legs, and then we're creating what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. So we've done a little bit of tailbone tucking. We now want to think about our hips being a bucket, and we're actually spilling water forward. So our tailbone starts to point towards the ceiling. We're gonna come into that anterior pelvic tilt, chest stays fairly proud, and then we're just gonna relax in this position here as we get used to this stretch position. We don't wanna scare the body and force it to tighten up by going too deep too quickly. So we'll just hang out here for a few breaths. We're going to be chopping and changing through some active and some passive work here, like always, to try and get deeper into this stretch position. So once you take your next breath, big inhale and exhale, I want you to use your strength to start to pull yourself out of that pancake position, actively pulling the band towards you. Now you should feel the muscles in the arms, in the back working a little bit here. We're just holding here for another couple of seconds, and then I want you to feel that band pull you deeper in. Now you should be able to feel like it can pull you in a little bit more. And if it does, you can start to work your way up the progress line. So I'm going to work my way up to progress line 4 here and allow the band to pull me deeper in. My body feels safe, it feels ready to go into this deeper position, but I'm still maintaining that element of core bracing, my tailbone pointing up towards the sky, or at least trying to, and that stretch through the hamstrings and the inside of the thighs. We're going to do 2 more rounds of that. If you feel like you need to walk the hands back to do that pulling motion, then feel free. I might just walk my hands back to progress line 3, and then I'm going to squeeze my glutes, tucking the tailbone as I pull the band back and come up into this seated position. Just hold here. We're going to try and get a little bit deeper in this next stretch if you feel comfortable. If you feel like you found a good position with this pancake stretch, then stay where you are. As the band pulls you back in, you can walk your way up the progress lines. I'm going to go to progress line 5 and just allow that band to pull me in. Now the aim isn't to try and get up to progress line 7 as quickly as you can. The aim is purely just to find that extra centimetre, extra millimetre of depth in the stretch here, as long as you feel comfortable. And the progress lines help with that. So the band is pulling me back in. We're going to go 1 more round here. So I'm going to regress my hands back to progress line 3, squeeze my glutes to come back up. Should feel nice and strong in this upright position. Hold here for another 3, 2, 1, and final time in this bottom position of the pancake. I'm walking my hands in to progress line 5, where they were previously. Chest is proud, belly button towards the spine. I'm trying to send my tailbone up towards the sky. Slight bend in the knees, and we'll take 2 deep breaths here. Let's do 1 for good luck. Big inhale. Big exhale. Release the band where you are. Slowly walk your hands back towards your hips. Use them to bring your legs together. You are all done for today, guys. Well done. See you in the next one.